Deadpool and Wolverine marks the long-awaited addition of Ryan Reynolds' first venture as the beloved Deadpool into the ever-growing MCU, but is also the even longer-awaited return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, this time clad in yellow and blue, which many fans have wanted since his first appearance in the original 20th Century Fox X-Men film back in 2000. The movie kicks off with the TVA, introduced in the Disney Plus series Loki as the ones tasked with keeping the various MCU timelines in check, noticing some anomalies. The chaos caused by Deadpool due to his after-credits time hopping at the end of Deadpool 2 apparently wasn't missed by them, because they track him down as he's having a birthday party with all of his friends from the previous two films. That original Deadpool cast isn't in the film too much beyond this scene, but it's nice to see all the actors brought back, if even just for this opening. Although oddly, one of my favorites, Colossus, is missing. Perhaps because of rights issues? I'm not really sure. But the in-universe excuse given is that he's having a secret romance with the buff Angel Dust, whom he tussled with in the first film, and is off on a couple's retreat with her. After some Deadpool-accurate quipping with the TVA agents, he's forcibly pulled from the party and brought to their headquarters. He's then informed by the new head of that branch, played surprisingly well in a new role by Ray Romano, of the ramifications of his actions. It would seem that because of messing with time travel so flagrantly as he did, this tore apart the Fox X-Men universe, quite literally in some ways, and now it's all crashed back together, landing in a pocket somewhere in the MCU. Deadpool is burdened with the task of getting things back in order before this dimensional-level disaster destroys the modern Marvel movie timeline as well. Now, of course, Wolverine is soon brought into the fold to help give Deadpool the extra muscle and claws it will take to set things straight. But we do get to see several versions of Wolverine before settling onto the main one that joins the red-clad main character. This sequence is quite fun to watch if you're a longtime fan of the old Knucklehead, as they show him in various costumes across various battles and played by different actors. For example, we see the Logan and Captain America team-up from World War II, the Hulk vs. Wolverine fight from his first comic appearance, and even a fun gambling-turned-brawl scene with Logan as his alter ego Patch, played by an actor who I won't give away, but let's just say he stands at a much more accurate 4'5". Each actor chosen to play Wolverine in these scenes is a great choice, and a bit of a what-if casting-wise, seeing how things could have been had Hugh Jackman not gotten the role. None of these will do, however, as Deadpool witnesses them each die some horrible and often comedic death, forcing him to move on and try the next one until finally he ends up on the main version in the film. This is one of the best elements of the film, how it gives the director, Sean Levy, a self-confessed Marvel nut as he once put it, the chance to seemingly bring in any characters he wants. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but I will say I was surprised by just how many cameos are in this film. Not just actors from previous MCU and Fox installments, but also characters from other mediums of the franchise as well. For example, in one of the big battles, of which there are surprisingly only 3, not only is Wolverine reunited with the full X-Men cast from the original trilogy of movies, with the likes of James Marsden, Famke Janssen, and Halle Berry reprising their roles as Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Storm respectively, but almost the entire cast from the soft reboot X-Men First Class series. And if that wasn't enough, there's also some really creative moments, harkening back to Doctor Strange traveling through dimensions in the Multiverse of Madness, where we see even the 90s animated characters appear. And finally, the hand-drawn comic versions themselves. I would say this is a really fun aspect of the movie, and it's great to see the MCU fully dive into the other versions of its characters like this. For many, the multiverse saga has been a bit of a letdown, feeling like it's just bouncing around from movie to movie, each story relatively unrelated to each other. But by the end of Deadpool and Wolverine, it will undoubtedly have an impact. There are a few questionable choices with this, however, where things might have been taken too far for the sake of laughs. For example, when all the Magnetos are on screen together, around 12 by my count, they decide to have what Deadpool dubs a magnet-off, seeing who can lift bigger and bigger metal things, eventually leading to them destroying a nearby town. This seems rather off for the normally very serious master of magnetism. Ironically, it ends up being the old 1960s animated Magneto, the one once felled by a wooden gun, who wins the magnet-off, so at least he finally got some respect back. However, seeing the 85-year-old Sir Ian McKellen and strong dramatic actor Michael Fassbender both playing opposite a confused, stiffly animated cartoon of the same character was certainly something I had to adjust to. There was also a sequence involving many versions of Quicksilver. Now, his brief appearance in the MCU was somewhat forgettable, but when he was in the Fox films, the visually creative slowdown scenes always stood out as showstoppers. So it's no surprise that here they included one of those scenes too, but because it involved multiples of the character, the sequence was extended to show all their skills to a whopping 15 minutes. There were the occasional cutaways to Deadpool breaking the fourth wall to comment on what was happening, but it generally was just these silver quick men running around in slow motion surroundings, showing off. I feel this could have been cut down quite a bit, and it would have still had the same effect, as it became tiring and confusing. But don't let this fool you, there are some serious moments in the story as well. As I said earlier, there are only 3 battles in the film, a lot of which are cut up in the trailers to make it seem like they just aren't connected. This is odd for a summer blockbuster action film, jam-packed with action figure-like characters. But what it lacks in action, it makes up for in character introspection. When Deadpool finally meets up with the proper Wolverine, it's not the buddy cop type relationship many would expect. Rather, they bond over how much they've both lost, and how much they fear losing what little they have left. This may be at odds with the butt and blood jokes, but it does show us a side of movie Deadpool that hasn't been explored too deeply, and brings us back to how broken Logan was in his drama-filled solo outing, X-Men Origins Wolverine. There's really too many cameos to count, like Laura from the film Logan, plenty of Deadpool comic characters that haven't been on the silver screen until now, with the likes of Lady Deadpool and about 100 other versions of him, each one hilariously played by Ryan Reynolds himself. I'm not sure if this will be his last MCU outing or not, but if it is, the Merc with the Mouth has definitely gone out with a bang, and perhaps bringing us our first and last official MCU full topless female nude scene. And let's not forget to stay for the post-credits. I'm sure everyone is excited to see what happens there. The first one I won't give away, but I will say that this introduces a villain who I'm sure is here to replace Kang, and absolutely dwarfs him when it comes to shades of green. The last post-credit scene is more of a throwaway joke, really breaking the fourth wall by having a lot of the characters unmasked and being called by their actual actors' names. It might seem odd to hear about, but in the actual context of the film and how it's shown, it becomes quite entertaining. Think of it more like a Jackie Chan blooper reel over the end credits, but the joke is the actors keep using their real names. So then, I think this is a strong return for not only the characters of Deadpool and Wolverine, but also for the MCU in general, getting a well-needed shot in the arm to revitalize its recent less than great showings. I would give Deadpool and Wolverine a 6.3 out of 10. Thanks for watching Early Bird Reviews. Join me again next time to get the earliest reviews of the films you're not sure if you should love.